Alright, we're trying this again, boys. I don't know how well it's gonna work, but we're gonna try it. What's my frame rate? It feels pretty shitty. Oh yeah, it most definitely is shitty. And do we have GPU with... Yeah, our GPU's decided that it wants to become actually proficient at something for once. Wow, that GPU is really working hard. Hey, Jay's watching. Hello, Jay. And then AZ's watching. I doubt this is gonna get many views, simply because no one gives a flying rat's ass. But in case any of you are interested, this is just gonna be explaining some dumb retrofit fire alarm crap on Wonderworld 1-6. This is if you're into fire alarm systems. I'll explain a little bit of info on this server. This is the public version of the World 1-5 server. It is a spin-off of World 1-5, hence the name, World 1-6, of New Age Server Alarm's Minecraft server. He entrusted me to make a copy for any modifications to make it public. So, he does not play in this version, but some of his existent creations are in here if you want to take a look. As long as you don't do something that would impact it directly, because this server community is active on its own behalf. It's pretty small compared to most terms. But we're trying to get it much more popular again, I guess you could say. So, what I wanted to explain was, now that you know what 1-6 is, basically, it does have a variation of other stuff in it. We've got, Minecraft fire alarms, there's redstone contraptions, various projects and buildings. It's a city server. We do creative roleplay and various fun stuff. And you can find various different cool things here as well, if you're so interested in doing so. I'm going to turn my... I don't know why that's up at 10. There's no reason for that to be up at 10. I normally keep it at 8. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my shaders simply because for the stuff that we're going to be doing, it's going to look kind of weird, so better to have them off. Excuse me while I sneeze. That was violent. Almost blew my my cup of hot cocoa away by sneezing, but okay. Alright, so to define it bluntly, now that we have frame rates, I'm going to go ahead and show you what we're going to be doing. So, let me explain a couple of systems for you that we have in Minecraft, for anyone who's interested. Basically, starting off, we've got conventional systems. For this example, I'm going to use my house. I don't know why I just did that. My house has a conventional alert tech AFP, not AFP, excuse me. NFP? I don't even know what it is. Yeah, MFP 4X, so it's a 4-zone modular panel. Of course, the original implementations of this... Oh, there is. I know exactly why there's an echo. Let me repair that. Hold on 1 second. Oh, I do that? Yeah, that would be it. Right here. Thank you for telling me that. I would have let it gone unnoticed for God knows how long. Alright, so this is the MFP4X. It's a very basic 4-zone panel, has a city tie, has literally that's it. And there are some customization abilities with these things, but they're normally what we call floor panels. They mount into a confined template, and the actual internals go below the floor, allowing them to be compactly installed in a conventional application. The stuff you see over here is an external fire detector modification I made. You don't have to worry about that. And these over here are some more other external modifications that do not directly involve the control panel. It's just this itself that's the control panel. It might seem kind of big, but in reality this is pretty small for what you can get. These panels really only came in all sorts of configurations. I think the most complex version of this panel is installed in Cydia Beta City Hall. At least I hope it's still installed down there, because that thing's got quite a use to, at least if I remember correctly. It had quite an MFP system in it. It had a voice evac module and everything stuffed in it. It was quite intense. But there's a lot of these scattered around Cydia Beta, quite a bit in Cactus Bay, Not a whole lot that still currently exists in large numbers, though, as they're easy to work on, easy to repair. NSI, which is a rebrand of Alertech, actually has a version of them as well. And so that's kind of cool, I guess, anyone who's interested. These panels were originally designed to have not necessarily 4 zones, and yes, they're modular, so you can add on zones and whatnot if you want. AZL, I'll do that later on, okay? So what would happen is, originally, one of the zones was specifically for use as a fire detector. That's it, basically. So yeah, that's basically it. Oh, Jay, it's alright. I mean, you don't have to moderate. As long as no one just starts talking. As long as no one's talking shit for no reason, it's we all good in the hood. Here, let me full screen. I don't know if oh, you know what? I might have just broke something. I also just noticed that you guys are getting a huge portion of your screen blocked because I have this dumb thing popped up. There. That should help reduce the annoyance level you guys have. Oh, that's really smooth. Okay, that's smooth. All right. Anyhow, so yeah, you have the MFP. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So you have like all these. You can install them, but the extra 2 zones down below were originally intended for design of having a, I guess you could say, a extra fire detectors and crap. It's kind of cool, I guess. The more you know. So that's pretty cool. So that's a good example of that. We can go to City of Beta and show you that. I think the fastest way I can get there is, well, probably just by flying there. But I could show the subway as well, if that's fine. Oh, I didn't even say your message on here, Jay. I'm sorry about that. Let's go down to the subway system. The subway's automatic. It brings us to where we need to go. If you've watched my previous streams or watched the server alarm, he made a video of how the system works as well. And so we need to go to Beta. Traditionally, if you had a City of Beta book, you could click that, but I already know the destination, so I'm just going to do trigger, set. I got 8 people watching, but nobody's really commenting, so I doubt anyone really cares. Trigger set MC, what is it, MC Beta test, or Beta MC test, I think that's what it is. Oh, it's trigger Beta MC test. Set 1, that's the City Hall subway station address, so it'll pretty much bring us there automatically. Excuse me. So this whole system is completely automated. What it does, basically, bringing you to the subways, it checks your station number and lines you up into the closest location. Right now, anything under 1,000 to 0 is City of Beta, basically. 0 is a defined error. Like, if something happens, it sets your ID to 0 and it shoots you at the it shoots you out, excuse me, at the end of the line, basically. It'll bring in a beta and just shoot you out and say a system error's occurred, for the most part. Anyhow, going back over here, we're going to go through the City of Beta system, which is in the single to 3-digit numbers, so we're in the 100s place of station identification numbers. So station 4 is we're going through the red line because the inner exchange between both lines is connected at the red line to both inner exchanges. And the inner exchange is basically the hub of the subway system between all the towns. Some towns seem to go without inner exchanges. The twins. I don't know why they do that, but they seem to do it, but you won't see the City of Beta's inner exchange in this video, I don't think. But I want to show you that MFP4, if it's still installed. I doubt it is. But the MFP4 that was in there was actually really massive, and it works pretty well. Or at least when it was going to be installed, it worked pretty well. This should bring us to the City of Beta. Oh, this might have been the bypass tunnel we went through. This should be the way we want to go. Ah, here we go, City Hall. Alright, that's the teleportation hub. It got finished. Damn, it's laggy in here. Just now. Oh, they got an Intel shit elevator. Let's see how broken it is. What? Okay. Let me in! Is it not even done yet? Oh. Why did they make it do that? The glass break animation? It's so stupid. I don't even know where the thing is and why it's doing this, but okay. What? Oh no! It got replaced? Is the old one still here? By any chance? Oh. That's actually really saddening. Wait. Oh my god, it was left here. This engineering marvel was left here. Thank you, Andrew Davis, for leaving the existing panel and just leaving it there. Jeez. I knew he wouldn't have the heart to remove it. Here is an extremely decorated MFP system. This has both. This is a dual module system. So as you can see, some of the modules are spread to the other side of the room over here. This is a custom layout specifically designed for fire detectors and fire detectors only. As you can see here, remote zone card input module. That's what the MFP4 are. The X stands for the main control module. If you have an MFP4, that's the main control module. The X stands for with a city tie. As you can see here, Info Center FACP input. This is your zone disable / zone enable. Basically, to summarize this is an auxiliary relay input card. And you've got auxiliary circuits right here. As you can see, you can shunt trip. What? Oh, these are the auxiliary relay modules, as you can clearly see. It's interesting layout of them. I thought this system had a voice evac, but I must have been mistaken. Anyhow, yeah, it's a pretty big MFP4. You don't normally see these. So, I'm very thankful he left that. Another example of an MFP is over here. As you can clearly see, here's another MFP4, but which is silenced, I guess. Maybe it was messed with. And it's got an MFP4C, which is basically an auxiliary relay, which can be used to activate various things. We all know how new AlertTech devices like to incorporate relays and NACs into one form function. You just gotta flip a repeater around and all of a sudden it does dual purpose. It's kind of weird in my personal opinion. Back is Bank, which I don't think actually has, it shouldn't have. Oh, I thought I had an MFP, I guess not. Again, another one with an MFP. They're not uncommon. They're all over the place in this world. And in a Masterbox system, which we'll get to Point, piece of shit, Masterbox failed. Oh my god. I don't know if that was me or if that was someone else. Hey, Lucky joined. Alright, so yeah, this is basically the MB8. I'll save what the Masterboxes are in a little bit here. Yeah, so you get to see what the MP4 is. Nothing much, Lucky. I see you're watching the stream. Alright, so yeah, you get the idea. And then you got addressable panels, which we'll go into details later on about addressable panels. So you got retrofit panels. This is kind of funny. Retrofits are almost next to near common in a lot of situations. Right here is a good example. So because this is a roleplay server and it's a Minecraft fire alarm roleplay server in some respects, we have a building that was first designed around the time period of the 60s and was later on expanded during the 90s before and prior to the actual requirements code. So we have the older style Minetech redstone torch fire alarm lights. I'm going down into some of the more recently renovated areas like the fire department section as well as the EMT section and whatnot. We can actually see more recent expansions. What's really interesting is at the very bottom basement floor here, this is the most recent version of the building. You can see where it says fire alarm Minecraft, whatnot. And going over to here, you can see this is obviously intended to be the older version of the building. Down over here, as you can clearly see, Fire Alarm Minetech. This is the old one. And one of them, of these rooms, is actually where the old panel was. Fire Alarm Master Panel, abandoned. Panel is not in use anymore. Please use the new panel, as you can clearly see. This actually used to be an active panel, believe it or not, and then was later ripped apart and then just kind of set up originally as a, you can see it was set up there in 1954 as a joke, basically. But this panel did operate and eventually was replaced for a more modern system. But yeah, so this doesn't actually operate anymore whatsoever. World 1 approved. Yes. I remember that. That's an old thing. World 1 instead of 1-6. That's a long story, but nonetheless, it still holds its point. Then you got the beta fire experts, which is a long story as well. Moving over here is where the new panel is. This is another MFP. This is an MFP2X. This is a really, really old MFP. Not very compact at all. Very massive. Time and resource consuming to wire. And as you can just generally see, it is a clusterfuck inside. They're not very good. They're reliable, but that's about it. It depends. If you were playing on 1.15, we didn't carry over the stuff. We just went back to a backup due to various reasons. Anyhow, so as you can see here, here's your zones, and then you've got your automatic detectors for those zones, which as you can clearly see down here. I don't think they're actually hooked in anymore. No, it would appear that they've been disconnected due to different detector reasons and whatnot. And yeah, you got your continuous outputs and your, what is this, coded output above. Which is a very weird system. And I'll activate these in a little bit. So yeah, there you go. There's basic conventional panels, both modular, non-modular. And I'll show you a non-modular panel pretty soon over here in Shop and Save. So this actually has NSI, which NSI is a rebrand off of Valortech panels, in case you're unfamiliar. And lucky we have it on the full 1.15 version. When that server becomes operatable again, you can probably work on it there. This is what it's called, the NSA FA1. This is literally just another MFP. As you can see, quite literally it is an MFP underneath, but for the most part, it has been designed for the sole purpose of not being a modular, just a specific need and purpose, and that's it. That's all it does. That's all it needs to do. As simple as it gets of a panel. So that's non-modular. And let me show you bigger modular panels, such as the one in whatever the fuck this apartment building was. I think this was called Lime or something like that. I can't remember. Charlie's so gay he can't even walk straight. Oh my god. Elmwood, protected by Topper Fire. I remember this building and all its annoyances and inconveniences. Yeah, those weren't fun. Right here is a Topper Fire AFD 100. This is a really fucking weird panel, and it's really unique in some respects. Topper Fire is kind of a small off-put company and really isn't all that, Holy shit, the fire detectors in this place are actually still running. Holy crap, I cannot believe that. It was alright. Thank you for asking. Yeah, this, again, it's just a weird panel. And, okay, this is not a part of the panel, by the way. That's the actual connectors for people who live in the apartments, by the way. So they can buzz themselves into the apartments. And, you know, yeah, this is basically the panel itself. They're not very compact, but it functions on a decent scale. And I guess in most respects, it is a very large, be it modular panel. This actually has both enable and a disable city tie function. And it works, I guess, for the most part, so nothing really to worry about. And, Actually, I'll show you this one in action. Let me just make sure it's disabled, of course. Alright, city tie has been disabled, and now we can let it have it. Yeah, I didn't think I'd have access to this building, and you know, it's been quite some time, so I probably have to give myself the tag again. That's all it is, just a thing that dings. It's capable of automatically detecting fire, but, you know, it's just an older panel. And now I'm going to show you addressable panels, and I guess we could start off with something relatively basic, such as an Ortec AFP, or maybe not an AFP, but maybe an NX, or whatever it's called. I think it's either NX or BX or something like that. Yeah, it is. I'm explaining it as we go along here. What building would actually have it? What the fuck is this? Is this a weapon detector? Oh, it is. Oh yeah, Charlie's stupid building. Ugh. Oh yeah, no, Jay, I could do that. Yeah, once you're in position, let me know. I'll TP. There's a Mindtech facility. Yeah, Jay, let me TP. Make sure it's non-modular though. It's unable to do zone by alarm. I just want to do a basic example of it. Ah, it's fine. I know what you mean. This is very clearly a penis tower, but apparently people have been quick to mask it up as otherwise. This is Topper. This is the Topper building. Open emergency exit. Break red glass to escape. How fucking high-tech is that? Could be in both. Doesn't matter. Private house. Private horse. I remember this. There was a huge dispute about this. Oh, in use if possible. Okay, so a modular system basically... No, you're not dumb. Actually, it's a good point that you bring it up. Tie horse to fence. Oh, wow. I wonder where else I would tie the fucking horse to, huh? Anyhow, not an exit, no entry. No return past door. What the fuck, Charlie? You put all these goddamn exits everywhere. What the fuck is this? Oh, this is an old bypass tunnel. This is the original bypass tunnel. Holy crap. I'm shocked that this even existed. This is an old bypass tunnel. Anyhow, I'm sorry. I'm getting off task here. Let me go back. This is the new bypass tunnel, as you can clearly see. The Topper Tower Stoneway bypass tunnel. But this was the original one beforehand. God damn. Oh, hey, man. I got ADD. Don't be bugging me like that. Anyhow, what the fuck is this thing? What the fuck? Alright, no, I do not get that urge. You need to seek residential care. Oh, yay, a prison cell. This is where Charlie gets down and dirty, huh? Or is this where he started? Anyhow, let me get back on task here. A modular system basically defines that you have a bunch of cards that can be placed in different arrays that basically allow the upgradability and customization and feasibility of a building's application. So basically, to put it bluntly, you know the IRS 17K? Or the 18K, Jay? The 18, 19, and 20K are all modular, addressable panel systems. Though you know the one in Patton Tower? That's a modular system. That's why it's so massive. A non-modular system is something like that tiny one. Yeah, but could you install a boatload of different cards in there with easable swappability? Like, you know how the IRS, I can put in 3-zone NAC cards and whatnot? Where even are you, Jay? Can I TP or nah? Alright, well, this is one. Alright. This is the mansion you're working on, I take it? Alright. Alright, let me get out of spectator. Hold on, let me get my jacket off. You know, it always helps if I take this thing off. Give me 1 second. Wait, Jay. Oh, my stream is so delayed. You can't really hear. Hold on. Alright, I'm all good. Alright, let me follow him. So he'll explain it if you want to do the little extra reading. This is actually really cool. I haven't actually been in the elementary school before. So this is Jay's modular system. Basically, it's your log chest as well as your actual alarm. So you can see, controlled alarms, model A1113. And yeah, it's up to you. I mean, you can go inside. Here's how his system works. Alarm inputs are placed on the chest, basically, or on top of the hopper, go through into the chest for the most part. Well, a lot of armor stands in here. Yeah, that's how it works. And this is a very compact design for what it is. It's a lot more compact than the IRS 17. Yeah, that's what's nice about it. And yeah, I guess you technically could say this could be a modular panel. It's nice. What's not really nice is there's a water puddle up here, so whatever you do, do not mine up. Huh. That's cool. It's kind of a cool building. Not gonna lie, I want to look at it. Oh no, I've seen them beforehand. I don't want to, you know, expose your secret. And look at this, you even got a double action right here. Are they all like that, or just that one? Yeah, sure. Go for it if you want to trigger it. What was that? Human freezer. What the fuck? Okay. Why can't I die? Why would you want to die? Alrighty. Go for it. Yeah, I see. Human freezer. That ought to keep the kids away. There it is. Zone 1. One of the zones. One of the... Why would you name it that? And there's particle strobes, which we'll get into a little bit later on, of course. As you see, acknowledged, silenced. Alright, looks like Lucky's gonna die. That's normal. Ah, nice. And you have audible silence, so the strobes continue to flash. Alright, so what walk test basically is, if for anyone watching the video that is a non-firearm enthusiast, walk test is a very simple test that allows you to go point to point and test one by one, and have the panel automatically silence itself, basically as you progress through walk test. It's a good way to get around and make sure all the points are working without having to constantly go around to the panel, reset, silence, and crap. A bell test is kind of the opposite. A bell test, you activate one device and just go around and see all the NAs running. See if everything's working appropriately in terms of the auto-visual department. Pretty cool system, though. And you reset your chest, and the log becomes clear. So yeah, thank you, Jay. Oh, this is a cool building over here. We'll do those in a little bit. So, like, I've already done the non-modular conventionals, but we can definitely look at yours a little bit later on. I think I'm gonna go to doing modular addressables now. So, why don't we go to doing? Yeah, why don't we go to the Ortec building? Or, yeah, to explain this. So here's an AX5. This is a modular panel, basically. This is what an Alertec addressable panel looks like, and as you can clearly see, you've got a wiper system and cards installed in the wiper. What happens is, as the wiper persists, you have the options to enable, disable, and go through various things. Another example of this would be the system in, let's see, I guess I could show you an extremely custom install over in Patton. Or how about not? No, there's a couple of systems that are pretty custom. Excuse me. But I can do the Patton Tower, which would be a good explanation. Here's the system in Patton. See, you've got basically a most generic zone enunciator. This is basically all you really need for the Patton system. Just you have a system normal Patton Tower. This is the base layout. I'll explain my panels in this stream as well. That explains them piece to pone, or piece by piece, of how exactly they're modular. But this, for the most part, will explain the enunciator. This is a full enunciator. I normally install them for full enunciators, but traditionally speaking, you would install them with only this module here. I'm just going to copy it over so people understand what I'm talking about here and that I'm not crazy. Traditionally, this is all you would have. Oh my god, hold on. Let me make sure I copy this again. This would be pretty much the only crap you would actually have for it. This is what you would see. Hello, Lucky. This is all you pretty much see for the panel itself in the wall. This is a basic panel configuration. You got your zones and your buffers. You can't scroll through it, of course, and you've got your general indications, and that's pretty much it. Or you would have a more basic configuration of quite literally only the sign or a reset button. Or you could have a reset button placed underneath it. There's all sorts of different modular configurations you can conform with using these. There's not exactly one configuration that meets the criteria, but this system is very large, and it's a zone by alarm system. So to explain what alarm by zone is, let me explain it like this. If a point goes off, let's say, on this floor, the lobby, everything in the building has to become evacuated, because if it's any floor below, and that alarm comes in, you need to get out. If, let's say, an alarm goes up from the upper floor, let's say floor 20. Floor 20 needs to evacuate, basically, and you'll come down to the main lobby and await further instructions, as well as any floor above it, or depending on the situation. You can also go through your various NACs here, which this system has an immense amount of them, and disable the NACs as requested. We have our city tie off. I'm not sure if this system is voice evac or not, so we're going to find out. And I'll show you voice evacs in here as well. Making sure that's disabled, and we'll just put it into manual evac. Nice manual evac. So because we fired it up in drill, which is the manual evac mode, all floors are currently going off. I do not think this building is equipped with manual evac. Or the voice evac. I do know a very interesting system that I have to demonstrate. There's no way I could go without demonstrating this system. Reset. And we'll enable walk test of city tie. This system is one of my more prized systems, and it's been constantly updated. There is a bunch of stuff. Fire alarm, what the fuck? Heck, out? What? Copper tube, box fan. How realistically adequate in its names and definitions. Ooh. Anyhow, let's go over to the Cactus Bay International Airport. Or, better yet, we could probably take a subway there. The nearest subway, it should be over here. Should be posted with a T. This is a rather custom station, so that's why you're going to see it like this. Don't know why there's a door there, but okay. Dexstar obviously replaced the elevator here without consent to City Hall. They also seem to have fucked up the station directories without consent of City Hall. Alright. We're gonna go to Yellow, which is the airport. And we'll just go down there. We're right next to it, so it should just flip us down the line here. And we're gonna go fast. That's faster than I could ever get there. Uh-oh. It's bringing us around. Go straight to the airport. Hopefully this brings us to the airport. Yeah, it does. Okay, I fixed that. There, we're at the airport now. Oh boy. Okay, I glitched. So, this is the airport station. This is pretty cool. This terminal is not finished. It will probably never be finished, and I'm still constantly working on it. But, in case anyone's interested, here it is. Parking garage building, which is never going to be finished. And here's the actual walkway to the terminal area. And you can see I've been working on an alarm system in here, but I've never really quite finished the building. There's normally a weapon detector system in here, but it's not hooked in currently, so... You've got your kiosks down below, and there seems to be alarm lights on, even though there's clearly not an alarm, because that makes sense. And so forth. Anyhow, let's go to see an actual station. This has a more crazy setup of a modular system and gets you the full experience of exactly what's going on with the system. Right here, you've got a pretty... Oh, it's an IAS 19000, as you can clearly see. It's a pretty custom installation of one, and there's no shortcut command set on this, so that's why it says null. Excuse me while I blow out everyone's eardrums while I sneeze. I'm going to mute my mic. Alright, sorry about that. Just don't want to kill everyone. Hey, Lucky. So you have the reset function. You've got the alarm buffer, trouble buffer, which can be scrolled to double the input functions. And you got a silence, walk test toggle, which should have an arrow pointing over here to it. Put it into walk test, but it doesn't. That's whatever. This actually has a 20K retrofit top end on it. They don't normally have these, by the way. So, it's not common for these to have that. So this top piece is actually from a 20K. And there's your city tie. We're going to keep it disabled. We do not have access to see our NACs. We just have access to seeing pretty much the general overview. We do have the luxuries of a shortcut key on this enunciator, which is completely disabled, as you can clearly see. And a drill function, which I've just activated like a moron. What's really weird is this building should have a quite loud evac system, but whatever. Here it is. This is a full system. This shows you the terminal, which is enabled. Alright. I don't think that's working. Hold on. I think we're outside of the chunk that needs to be loaded. This panel's location is dead center right here in the middle of the map, as you can clearly see. And it is responsible for operating pretty much the entire airport, as this is zoned by alarm to building. So this is responsible for running the entire campus. However, unfortunately, stuff does happen, and therefore it needs to be configured to run with the chunks being constantly loaded. So let's just configure that here. Keep chunk. Oh, you know what? I'm almost next to near certain that this actually doesn't work right. We don't use world edit because it's stupid, so hold on. 80-20, let me go all the way over here. Hold on. There we go. Hold on, am I doing this right or am I doing this wrong? I am doing it wrong. That's something to be concerned about. Wait, no, I was actually in the right area. Go figure. Of course I was in the right area. That's the chunks there. I'm gonna go over here to get the chunks. And this will hopefully resolve our issue. What the hell? Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong. You're supposed to copy chords. Okay, hold on. Jeez, I'm sorry guys, hold on. Alright, there we go. That should prevent our issues from arising any further. We should have access to run everything remotely now, without any further interruptions. This actually has a voice evac panel and various other functions, so let's activate this now. So the alarms are flashing, but there's not actually any voice coming out. So this is actually in March time for the actual voice evac.
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? There has been a fire reported in the building. Please proceed to the nearest exit and leave the building. May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? There has been a fire reported in the building. Please proceed to the nearest exit and leave the building.
Even though that's currently going off, as you can clearly see if we go over to this terminal, while we do have an alarm, the most recent alarm is a fire at the terminal. which is currently still going off, but because it's a zone by alarm building, we silence it here. It might silence for the terminal. Of course, if we activate it here, runway garage. Over here to the hangar, you'll have a similar result here. It says Cactus system normal. This is not correct. It just hasn't cloned properly. If we go to the scroll update input here, it should hopefully... There we go. Alarm, most recent. Fire, runway garage. There's our inputs. As descriptive as we can go using wars. As we can see, garage, south door, front push station. Then we got baggage pickup 1 and 2 over in the terminal. So what's really fascinating with the system is that in the event of an emergency, this is actually a 2-stage fire suppression system. This is showing how modular this panel can really be modified. In the event where a previous fire is logged, the suppression system will automatically arm itself ready to basically discharge, but that won't be the case because we're going to silence and reset the system. The suppression system works upon a couple of factors. If a station becomes activated or any factor happens, what will occur is, basically there's going to be a bell that goes off giving you a warning that the suppression is kicking on, and the next thing you know, there's water that's going to drop down from above. To demonstrate this, I'm going to world it in a block of fire. It will detect it and hopefully suppress it a little bit. And we'll just take a good old thing of flint and steel as our little demonstrator carrier for this. Of course, lighting it from the center is always the most effective method. Oh, what? I was about to say, that ain't right. That should burn. It always takes its time, but give it a minute. Okay, I genuinely don't know if the suppression system in here works or not. It should automatically detect it. Theoretically, it should. The detectors are right here, actually. Oh, shit. I can't believe I've done that. Well, wait, no, that's not the kind of detectors. Hold on. There we go. And there's nothing in there. So whatever I just did is now no longer going to be logged. Fantastic. I'm pretty sure that was the fire detection module, and it is now no longer working. Thanks to my stupid ass. Fantastic. Alright, nonetheless, shit happens, and so yes, so we're going to have to go ahead and fix that. Must have been the other detection for the southwest hangar. Alright, I don't know why this isn't activating. It should have activated by now. But because it clearly didn't, I'm going to have to activate it for it. Huh. Maybe that was the button it worked for. Seriously. What the fuck? Really bad time to find out that this shit don't work. Alright, you be fucking with me now. The block could not be put... Oh... Stupid 1 point goddamn 12. This was never an issue. You have to use block data now to get around the set block. Hello. Although it seems like it's just now working. I don't know why, but here, we'll just do a drill. That works. I don't know why those aren't working. I'll have to look into that. There's our bell, and we'll have our suppression system kick on shortly. Let me make sure to... Doors open up, those doors shut, and you see the thing comes opened, and it helps put it out a little bit, I guess. It's not a total loss, basically. Now everything is going off, basically. We've got this going off in here in code 3, and this thing is just going off in normal code 3. If we go over to the control tower... This thing's going off in here, doing its own thing. This in here is doing its own thing too. I think this one's broken personally. Oh, I broke it again, huh? These work up top. I don't know why they're the control tower, basically. And that's how that works. Anyhow, let's reset that. Hey, as you can see, the most recent activation was the second stage activation, was when the sprinklers decided to activate. So, yes, that happens with it. I don't know why none of the detectors work, or why none of the push stations in there worked, but, well, oh well, you know, shit happens. This one has a panel in it, I believe, yeah. I'm trying to think of another iconic location, Cactus Bay, of a weird system. I know a system. And this is for anyone who cares to listen. The Imawela Productions Tower. Okay. The Imawela Productions Tower is a tower project that me and a couple of people worked on. It was originally called the Shell Tower, but was renamed to Imawela Productions, obviously, because we were doing our own thing, and it was just, I don't know, we thought it was funny at the time, because of a meme that we found out. So anyhow, coming to the basement, you'll see the monstrosity of a panel that lays beneath us. Little background on this panel. Alertech had released this panel called the AFP300, which was the predecessor to the AFP200. The AFP300 wasn't that bad of a design. It was kind of complex. It was weird, and I mean, it worked great, but here's the catch. 1.14 or 1.8.4 came around. The way that panel worked to display buffers or buffers being the actual inputs that ran through, were stored in a chest system. And what happened was that chest system would place down a Minecraft command block with a command that generated a sign to be cloned onto the display of the panel. This wasn't a bad system. As a matter of fact, this was very reliable. This system worked really well. I will give New Age Serverlum credit. This was a good system. However, there were some problems with this system that became very, very well known right away. Was as soon as 1.8.3 came around, and they had all those hot patches for 1.8. They had those hot patches for 1.8 because one of the problems that rose up in 1.8 was that, well, to put it bluntly, in 1.8.4 they found out that people could go ahead and put some commands in there that could be very destructive to a server as a compressor. they could go into a server with this MBT data, and there was a really bad exploit that came out of it. Basically, to put it up in the least bit, you could summon this thing in a chest, and what happened was you could place it and it would destroy the server catastrophically. And so this was removed completely. They stopped doing this. The developers stopped doing 1.8.4. They stopped allowing the use of this whole system to recycle a command block and being placed by a dispenser, basically. So Andrew stopped development on it, or Andrew being whichever arm, stopped development on that device. And then eventually there was a huge gap in addressable technology, and the owner of Quicklore at the time, Jack Kirkpatrick, designed this system that used the Quick Alert. I don't know what he was designing, to be honest with you. He was talking out of his ass. I'm almost inherently sure that he was just saying shit to make Andrew feel like he needed to develop something to rival competition. But we all know Jack wasn't really doing anything, didn't understand the concepts, and was clearly just not doing anything. And so I came out with the chest design, which you saw in the 18,000, the 19,000, and the 20,000 I showed you. This is a 20,000 retrofit, and I'll explain what this is in a little bit here. The 20,000, or the 17K I released, had the chest design, and it kind of shocked and awed a couple people because they did not expect me to come out with an addressable panel. And I was given hell for it. They didn't want to pass this thing, and it was an experimental panel, so technically the 17K was never designed. It was a concept panel. It was never designed to be used in the way I used it in. And here's the thing now. I used it in such a basic form and in a way that was notable, and eventually the design was reliable. It was kind of complex, but it was fairly easy to install and was reliable, and so it seemed like this design stuck. And eventually I was able to get it passed into the Whirlwind Esh5, and eventually, therefore, commissioned, and all the ones that are installed to this day are still operating perfectly fine with DSS reinstall support whenever they had an update. And those panels have been installed since 1.8.9, and they're still running. Every time they do an update, though, all the syntax data gets fucked, and I have to do an update to them. But, matter of fact, one of the old videos that I did in TLC Tower was of a 1700. And that video got me a lot of views. Unsurprisingly, of course, but, a lot of views, surprisingly. So, moving back on to what Andrew did. Not seeing competition, he immediately said, well, what the fuck? You just came out with this. Well, now I gotta make something to meet the market needs. Here comes the AFP 400, the shittiest Alertech panel to ever be installed anywhere in this fucking server. And when I tell you the shittiest panel, I'm not joking. This thing used to crash the fucking server because of entity overload. Because what happened was, this panel was based on the concept of throwing a chest down through a dispenser, and then executing the minecart chest name, or, a minecart with a chest, right? And that minecart that went through the system, by the way, or that went through with a chest, it depended on what you had set up. If it went through with a chest and a hopper, it was a trouble / second priority alarm. If it went through with I believe if it went through in the main loop with a second or first, you could set it up as a second. So basically, you had two separate buffers. You had a priority buffer and a secondary priority buffer. So priority 1, priority 2. Kind of like how a simplex system works, if you've had experience with them. Basically, one can set off one type of alarm, and one can set off a less of an aggressive type of alarm. Basically like a general notification, but not quite evacuate the building alarm. And this system was good, in theory. The problem is, it never deleted the fucking minecarts. And then it used to get stuck in these random buffer execution loops, where the minecarts would just keep on spawning over and over and over again, until the goddamn server crashed. Now, this problem was fixed 5 times and was never truthfully fixed to the point of the panel actually being reliable. At this point, I had already made my addressable version that was the equivalent of the AFP 400. And while it wasn't unreliable, the install times were really bad. Right off the bat, they were really terrible. But that panel was called the 18K, the system you saw in Patton. That wasn't a good example. Anyhow, so I was already beating Alertech at their own market, and it was kind of pissing Andrew Davis off because I had a panel that met all the requirements that the AFP 400 could do, except even though the AFP 400 was much faster, Andrew couldn't do it because this thing was such a heap of shit. And then he just went and said, fuck this. I'm not doing this clone shit. I'm not doing this. I'm going straight to doing it the old-fashioned way. We're going to make this modular system run off of a, we're going to make this thing use a slider and make a more reliable input buffer. So they still use the minecart and chest, they just perfected it to work reliably. That it's still questionable how reliable it can be utilized, but theoretically speaking, yes, it is half and half reliable. I mean, it's kind of scary. The more recent versions that run off of scoreboard objectives have infinite, and I mean infinite, amounts of actual storage, but you need to have I don't know. Basically putting it, this was known, the minecart system was known as the Alertech AX2 protocol, or the A2 execution protocol. That's the actual addressable language, quote-unquote language. Is not actually a language. Obviously, this is fucking Minecraft, let's be honest. But we'll just put it as that the panel used to communicate. Here's what gets really, really funny. Okay? The way that DSS panels worked natively made them backwards compatible. Oh, bye, Papyrus. Natively made them backwards compatible for this application. So you could retrofit a DSS panel into an existing Alertech panel, no problem. Backwards compatibility, steal money from your competitors kind of level of shit. Basically. And they were reliable. Hey, Shootface. So to put it in context, we basically made a panel that was not only backwards compatible, forward and backwards, but we started stealing reinstalls away from Alertech. So when Alertech started offering the AFP 500 or the AX5, which was later rebranded to the AX5, we started stealing their installs from them because they were offering free replacements, but the AFP 400 was so shitty that, in all honesty, they blew it. And the funny thing was, their direct replacement wasn't even a direct drop-in replacement. I mean, it started off as a drop-in replacement, but the NAC cards were so different, and it wasn't just the buffers that were bad. The NAC configurations were not that great. The thing was just generally known as an irreliable piece of shit. And because of it, it basically ruined their repetition. Then they came around with the AFP 600, or the AX6, which it was later rebranded to. The last version backwards compatible with the AX2 protocols, basically. And that also offered a newer style, which was the AX3, which was, I'm not kidding you how bad this was. You had to send 2 minecarts through, so you had half the buffer space. Keep in mind, by a buffer space, I mean the amount that your SLC loop can handle, okay? DSS panels theoretically have infinite SLC loops if you stack an input. If you have a repeat alarm, you'll have 64 of that, and of course, you need to times the maximum amount of slots in your chest by 2. That is your maximum alarm input. This is the log release to the last time it was activated, obviously. But as you can see right here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, you got 12 right there. So 12 times 2 is 24. 12, 12. You got another 24 right there. So there's 48 slots. 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54 slots right there. And if you scroll your alarm buffer, you can times that 54 by 2. Well, sometimes you have to scroll it again. It just acts a little weird. Oh, what the fuck? Oh my goodness. I know why it's not scrolling to the second alarm buffer. They have a second alarm buffer, but this particular panel does not, and that's because it's a retrofit, and I'll get into why there's only 1 alarm buffer. So technically this only has 54 slot inputs. And now if you're running an A3 protocol, that 54 gets divided in half. You only have 30, what? I think it was 33 slots that you could utilize, or 30. You could only use, you had an empty slot that could be used. That's how inefficient it was. There was no effective way to properly use that space, per se. So, how it was designed here was I took the actual module, divided it in half, and it's hilarious because I was able to get that protocol backwards compatible too. Both inputs can be thrown in to the chest, and yes, if you so helped it to desire it, we offered a module to throw the actual chest input that ran through this, right? And it would pop up on here on the main display of the most recent alarm activated. Yes, it could do that. And I will show you that here in this video. And this doesn't have that exact module, but this has a DSS version of the module for DSS inputs. But you could technically run it like this. Hello. So that's how you ran it to define it. So we'll silence it, obviously, making sure to disable our city tie. So here's the thing about this panel. We have a walk test and a city tie function relay built right into the actual system, which you can see down there. Our city tie relay would be located, I don't know if they can see through the floor that well, somewhere around there. You can't really see it in the current position because the alarm buffers kind of hover above it. But it would basically be, yeah, right there is where it would be at. You can see the actual relays. Oh, you just clicked the video? Okay. Well, hold on. I'm explaining some stuff, but okay. And, you know, that's been disconnected because the original panel buffers are ran through. So this is running through the original AFP 400 zone by alarm configuration. All your input modules run in here. Alarm by floor, which would then later be cloned to the AFP 500's retrofit system, or the AX6 retrofit system, which was so unreliable that that system is being controlled. These NAC cards are being controlled by a retrofit IAS panel. So this is basically an Alertec installation with an IAX slapped in place of it. Not that long to install this, to be honest. This is a considerably large system, but that's because it's been retrofitted over 17 times. Not actually 17, that's an exaggeration. But it's a very complex system for what it is. So we gotta scroll through our NAC inputs here and make sure that our input going to our fire department, our master box, is disabled. We can probably scroll through them a lot faster if I double click them. Hold on, it gets to 22 and then that's it. City tie relay enabled. Titty tie relay enabled. We gotta disable it. Alright, we got an unacknowledged event supervisory. That's normal. Yeah, I'm about to click it. Hold on. Yeah, I know. Okay. Improper NAC settings. That's fine. Alright. So I will demonstrate this. We'll go up to a random floor here. Because it's zoned by alarm, we'll go up to floor, I don't know, 14? 14's active, right? Well, if we go one above, that's activated too. But if we go above one more, nothing. The floor above and below of this particular floor that we've alarmed will go off, but any other floors will stay off until we go to a lobby. In this case, oh, maybe that doesn't work anymore. If you activate a ground location floor, it goes directly into the main buffer, which then becomes active and then basically activates everything else. So right now, all our floors from our lobby right here are active. However, I believe anywhere above this isn't. Yeah. So the whole idea of this is that you evacuate the floor that's going on, basically. That there's a fire detected. Here's our most recent input right here. Push station B/first exit point. As you can see right here, this is the original Alertec buffer system. Instead of having it going around, you want to see the redstone? There isn't quite redstone, to be honest with you. It runs to this. This just runs to the front thing right right here, this is just an external input. But this actually, the redstone, believe it or not, is all controlled through wireless redstone that we use using command blocks, basically. So here's actually all the different repairs made with it. This is basically where the original AFP 400 sat, for the most part. And this is literally all it is. Right here, repaired 4/6/19. This is after the damn thing was replaced so many goddamn times, by the way. Repaired, wire link tech repaired, Alertec made the following non-standard modifications. Wiper modified, longer length with repeater to fit with AFP 400. D/E block data cords changed to sign to fit old panel. There's so many damn retrofits in this system that it's kind of unacknowledgeable to really go through them all. This is the system that pulses to all the NAT cards, which then operate the corresponding floors activated. Well, we activated floor 14, so as you can clearly see, floors 13 and 15 are activating along with it. The idea of this concept is simple. If you activate a part of the system, we want to go to that part to see exactly if there's a fire there or not. If there's not a fire, you reset the system, and all other floors can continue as operating, while those floors and the people who are at those floors can go back to their business. However, if there is a fire and it's determined that it's not really fightable with the current staff there, you'd put a general evac in order. Manual evac, drill, get the fuck out. That's literally what happens, and that activates everything, as you can clearly see, because that goes through a basic main input feed. So that's going through everything right now. So if we go up here, there's a desynchronization between the alarms here. That's just how the modules are. This one just kind of stays lit. I don't know what's going on with that. Let me make sure to empty this. Hold up. I just threw my key in the trash. Now someone's gonna rob my house. Good fucking job. The master boxes. This is where shit gets complicated. Master boxes basically are really nice for a couple of reasons. Oh, let me show you a walk test on this as well while I'm here. I think the factory walk test should work. Let me make sure this is also I want to make sure that's enabled. And there's our inputs, as you can clearly see. Drill puts a stone block in there for the most part. Alright, walk test is designed on this system simply to be used to help you diagnose and repair issues within the system. Test whether a system's working or not. See how it dings 3 times? As you can clearly see, walk test. Most recent activation, push station B/first floor. It saves it in the log chest. If you really need to see it, of course, it's right there. Of course, you can silence it, even though it's already silenced by walk test, and you can reset it, and of course, make sure to disable the walk test while you're at it. And we'll enable City Tie for this one. Now, what are the Master Box systems? It's kind of a good thing for you guys to know. It's an old system term, but in reality, they're all basically the same. In the corners of most locations, you'll have to excuse the roads here in Cactus Bay. This particular town has been under some road work for some time, so some of the boxes are of mixed, matched forms. There's been so many Master Boxes in place of Cactus Bay in the short period of its time span of a city that there are, to put it bluntly, the locations are weird. So, yeah. Anyhow, right here is a standard addressable master box that you clearly see. Oh, hey, Sodots. As you can clearly see, this just sets off a general alarm input somewhere, and you're going to see where. This is an old one, so that's why this looks like the way it does. Sorry. Oh yeah, these traffic lights do work, by the way. I know a lot of people seem to think that they're just for show, but they're not. If I push walk, hopefully they'll go to walk. Hopefully they'll go to walk. They're all red, but we're not going to walk. I'm not sure why. I think I might have broke it. That's good and all. Uh-oh. That ain't good. Oh, no, it's working. I don't know why it got stuck there. Maybe that button was bad. Hold on. Oh, no, it's... Okay, there we go. It's just waiting on something. There we go. Just took a while, I guess. We're all on walk here. Now it's flashing, don't walk. And the cycle continues, basically. Yeah, green. Red. Green. Yeah, there you go. That's that for you. Anyhow. Master boxes. Let me go back to the concept here. We'll go to the nearest fire department, which is over in Station 1 in Cactus Bay. There's a lot going on at this fire department. Oh, also, in case you didn't know... Whoop, let's turn that off. This light right here indicates if the department's manned or not. So if I go inside here, inside the building, I come out real quickly, the light will be on, then it'll go off. So no, it's actually not. It's in a server. So if you actually go into if you're driving by a fire department stuff and you see that little red torch, the little red light on the side, what the fuck? Why is it on? Oh, it's because I touched next to it. And it'll go out as soon as I walk up into the building. If you want, I mean, it's up to you. I mean, you'll basically be in adventure mode because right now, who the fuck broke shit? It's not quite a TS200 Minecraft server, but something along those lines. Here's the master box. All right. So here's the master box. You can't be messing with this thing. Please note, tampering with the master box is a punishable offense by 1 day in Cactus Bay Jail and a personalized ass-kicking, as we normally joke around as. I don't know who owns this dog. He just kind of chills out here. I think he's owned by someone, so. Anyhow, right here is basically the last inputs put in. And it also has a walk test function because you want to walk test stuff. And it has a city tie function, which it shouldn't because it doesn't need to have one. Alarm buffer, scroll, and trouble buffer. So I'm going to explain this. What's low? What do you mean? You can see that or no? I thought you've always been able to see that, Che. Alright. The IP is world.ts200.net. Oh, do you see it on your end or on my end? Oh. Anyhow, if you want to watch my screen, you can see. So what happens if a master box gets tripped on like the corner? Oh, okay. Let's just say over here in one of these areas and locations, there's a master box. If we can find it, it might be nice. Got a pretty remote spot. There's a giant hole in the goddamn floor over here in the middle of the road. That's electrical. Oh, it's glass. Okay, never mind. There's an old. This is one of the first ones that were ever installed, but it's backwards compatibility. There we go. CBMB system activated. Fire call. Closest fire station to location 1. Basically what that means is the closest station to this point of activation is at the fire department 1. So anyone who is a firefighter, this is in Java edition. This isn't in whatever edition you're playing on. I don't really have a gamer tag. Anyhow, basically, station 2, location 1, basically. So what happens is, anyone who's in the fire department that is currently next to station 1 has to respond. You can just click the damn thing here. It says, we're click here to go to the nearest station. As you can see, the alarm box is ringing. Alarm fire call station 1. The further data is unreadable because I haven't programmed the other data in yet. It doesn't read through this. Right here, outside Bridgewater Apartments on Curdell? I guess that's what the name is. What? Yeah, we don't use that on here. Alright, so anyhow, you can acknowledge the alarm, and normally what you do is you get in your fire engine and you're ready to depart over there to find out. So that's how that works, basically. It's pretty unique. Now, what happens if a building goes off into an alarm? Well, simply the same occurs, basically. Let's make an example here. What would be a good building to demonstrate? I guess we could demonstrate in someone's house over here. Or, better yet, there's a school right here, which we can make a perfect demonstration of. Now, the nearest location to here is actually quite questionable. I don't know if it would be number 1 or number 2, or Station 3. Looks like Station 1 took the cake, and also the system silenced itself, so someone was messing with it, because it went into silence. Which only happens when you're screwing with it, and oh. I don't remember this being done. What the hell? I don't know what happened to this. Something went wrong with this alarm. Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. That's gonna need to be fixed. I'm gonna have to test all these anyhow, so we'll make another video testing the master boxes and crap. Don't you worry about that. Hopefully I can include it into this, but I don't know, this stream's already concluded pretty long. Yeah, let's click it. We go to the actual point. We can definitely see over here, Johnson Road. Pooper Hopper, what? That's basically the Hopper Elementary School. That's the actual elementary school that went off into an alarm. Now, if you chose another area outside in a more secluded area of Cactus Bay, let's just say the closest location would be somewhere around along the lines of, here. Let's say this. Yes, this building. The police department. It's kind of a questionable. So here's the thing, the police master box is also the same master box. As you can see right here, silenced fire call, Station 1. It's quite funny. People don't seem to realize this, but believe it or not, they share a master box system. If the police department goes into an alarm here, it's closest to 2 locations, Station 1 and Station 2. So you could either go one or the other, basically. So your Station 2, as we can clearly see, it's got a master box call in. And we could go to Station 3, which is, well, not this way, that's for sure. Station 3 is all the way over here, out in the middle of fucking nowhere. And Station 3 is the only one not to go off yet. As you can clearly see, Station 3's master box does have an unacknowledged event, but as you can clearly see, fire call Station 2 data is unreadable, so it can go one or the other basically with its alarm. Severe ass kicking, that's nice. As you can see, the actual call alarm is not going through, but yes, it has an unacknowledged event in its system. Basically, you have to stay on alert when this sort of stuff happens. Going all the way back. Where is it? There's one all the way over here somewhere. A larger building such as this school would probably call all departments. Being of its sheer size is pretty much a given. Excuse me. This is another addressable system. Let's activate this one. This one might be broken as well. That wouldn't shock me if this one gets broken. This was tampered with. The system has been removed without my prior permission. That's not right. So I haven't been on the server in a while, and it looks like a lot of stuff is missing. where it clearly shouldn't be. And because of that, there's some problems. So I apologize. Here's another system that's probably broken. Yeah, it's broken alright. I didn't think it wouldn't be, honestly. God damn. I have a building that's, like, not fucked for once. Are all these systems inoperable? This one's activated, right? But here's the thing. Goddamn fucking elevator. What the hell? No. Ah! This system activated, right? Here's the problem, though. It didn't activate the master box. God, these are all broken? This is terrible. God damn it. When down enabled. It's clearly not enabled. This system might actually be removed due to its sheer incompetence. It seems almost unusable, rendered speaking. Oh, I guess I can't find a system that will activate, or be willing to activate. This one should operate. What the fuck? Old box triggered. This panel needs to have its box updated. Old box triggered. So what happened there was this system doesn't know where to put that box alarm into. This needs to be replaced. So I set up a system where if it was an old box alarm, it would go and float into a buffer and then throw out a message saying old box triggered. Then it would say CBMC system activated. Fire call, and all departments respond at any fire station to location any. Click here to go to the nearest station. This also did a police call because the police and the master box they send out it basically does the dispatching for you, as you can clearly see. I just went to whatever location it said. As you can clearly see, it activated everything with the Lex Smart System building on Milk Street. It doesn't specify why, so that box needs to be replaced for the most part. I'm going to make a list of everything. I'm going to go around testing buildings, and we're going to make a shit list of all the buildings that are fucked up. Because a lot of them don't work, and I think I'm going to do this right now. Hear this? See, this one's going off too. They're all going off. All the departments all around the damn map are going off right now. See, this one's going off too, I bet you. Surprisingly enough, I don't hear an actual alarm on this one. What does? So yeah, I'm gonna have to replace a lot of these things. So anyhow, thank you for watching. Have a great day, and I hope that you liked the video. I don't think anyone really cared for it, but thank you guys for watching.